الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. Every surah has a soul. I mentioned briefly in the first talk that the order of Quran is divine. You know, there's an order from Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq when Rasulullah came with this Islam. Because this is in the sake of da'wah and the audience. But when Rasulullah passed away, the all Arabia are Muslims. That means from that time till the day of judgment, they're always a religion of Islam. Everyone know about it. So when someone look for guidance, like we see many times when they come to us in the mosque, they go to Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, because of Islamophobia, and finally they came. One day, one lady came to our mosque, and then she became Muslim. After a while, she contacted me. She said, I'm surprised that I found the all answers of my questions about these false or about another religions in the Quran in the beginning, in Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Al Imran. A reflect upon Quran in a way that she said why Baqarah and Al Imran is the beginning. So this order is very important to shape your mind. How is that? Fatiha, very short surah. After that, Sab'u Tiwal, 7 long surahs. Why long surahs in the beginning? And then the length will reduce. And then in the end, you'll find Juz' Amma. Because the beginning surahs is about concepts. And concept is very important to elaborate on it till it stick in your mind. And the rest will be just a reminder. Let me take one example. Surah Al-Baqarah, the longest surah in Quran. If one asks you, the longest surah in your book called the cow why? You may think the answer is because Allah mentioned the story of the cow in the surah. That's right. But the story of the cow is only 1 page out of 48 pages. Why is the cow? Not just that. Surah Al-Baqarah, there's a lot of themes, seems more important than the cow. The prayer, the zakah, the siyam, no sawm, Ramadan, only in Quran, only in Baqarah. There's hajj. There's financial matters, 5 pages. There is the family issues, 5 pages. Why the cow? That's another secret of the Quran. The title is always encourage you to reflect deeply. You know, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. If the author write a very easy title, you can predict everything from that title. That's not a good title. The title of the surahs when it comes from Rasulullah, it encourages you to think. Why Al-Baqarah? And think deeply. Do you know that the whole themes in Surah Al-Baqarah, you can gather it and the Baqarah will be the title. Raise your hand if you memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. Sisters. Brothers. Okay, raise your hand if you read Baqarah frequently. I encourage everyone here to read. There is a lot of secrets in Baqarah you'll find in your life. I personally spent 7 years recited Surah Al-Baqarah every single day. And I found blessings of that unbelievable. Okay, Surah Al-Baqarah we can divide it in 2 main passages. The first passage is about the people of the book before us, the Bani Israel. And the second passage is about the all commands in Surah Al-Baqarah. And in the middle between these 2 passages, There's 3 pages about turning qibla. سَيَقُولُ السُّفَهَاءُ مِنَ النَّاسِ. And it's exactly in the middle. So, long passage about the people of the book, long passage about the commands, qibla. And there is introduction and conclusion. Because Surah Al-Baqarah and Ali Imran is about the identity of this ummah. You know the word insan, human being, never mentioned in Baqarah or Ali Imran. It's an-nas. It's not about, it's about the ummah. You know the word kitab mentioned a lot in Baqarah and Imran, but not Quran. Quran only one time. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Why? Because he speaks to the people of the book. Okay, let me start with that in the middle, turning qibla. Because turning qibla is indicate turning leadership from the people of the book before us to this new ummah. That's why the first passage is about their failure, their mistakes. The message is, don't do these mistakes. We'll give you the leadership of humanity. Don't do this mistake. Can you summarize this mistake in one? Yes, the story of the cow. That's the summary of their mistakes. Materialism, because they want something to see, something come alive in front of them. Lack of respect to Allah. Ud'u lana rabbak. Call you Lord. 3 times. Ud'u lana rabbak. Compares 3 times with the end of Baqarah. What's the last ayah in Baqarah? رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَسِينَا وَأَخْطَأْنَا رَبَّنَا وَلَا تَحْمِلْ عَلَيْنَا إِصْرًا كَمَا حَمَلْتَهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِنَا رَبَّنَا وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا. How many times رَبَّنَا? 3. Because in the story of cow, 3 also. But they say, Rabbak, you Lord. But when we know our identity, we are very grateful to say, our Lord. I'm grateful to be His servant. Don't make their mistakes. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُكُمْ. He could say, just do it, because he's a prophet. Why إِنَّ اللَّهَ? That means when the commands from Allah came to you, what's your response? They said, سَمِعْنَا وَعَصَيْنَا. We hear and we disobey. What is in the last of Baqarah? سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. That's our identity. Submission. They don't submit. Why? Because they don't glorify the Lord. When you glorify your Lord and love Him, commands will come later. Command will be very easy for you. So that's why submission. That's why exactly after the people of the book, Allah mentioned Ibrahim. But only from one angle. When he built the Kaaba and make the dua for this new ummah will come. وَاجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكْ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِنَا. Oh Allah, bring a new ummah in this place with the leadership of Rasulullah sallallahu. But in Ibrahim, Allah highlights something. Islam. إذ قال له ربه أسلم قال أسلمت لرب العالمين ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه ويعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Muslimun in 2 pages or Muslimun means Islam is not, there's only one religion. Islam is the religion of Musa, of Isa, of everyone. Submission. Now we learn the lesson from the story of the cow. We will submit to Allah. We will love Allah, and then we will look at the commands. Now turning qibla. Turning qibla is just turning leadership. And when he said leadership, he said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Wasata doesn't mean middle. Wasat in Arabic means 2 things. Means middle and means the best. Because middle usually always the best. We are the best. That means there is responsibility. لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. In the end of Baqarah is all about commands. Know the commander first, then the command come later. But even the commands divided to 2 phases. لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. Command started. Then he mentioned the rituals, the salah, the zakah, the sawm, the hajj. Then he shifted to the family and financial transactions. But in that shift, he mentioned one ayah, ayah number 208. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم. Is there any mad here? ادخلوا في السلم. Can I hear that mad, please? Brilliant. Do you know what? This mad for me has a taste, sweetness. Do you know why? He said, enter Islam wholeheartedly. Don't pick and choose. Don't think only salah and zakah and sawm, and you pray at mosque, go to umrah, and then you treat your spouse harshly. That's not Islam. Don't be a good in the mosque, and then you bad in when you deal with business. That's not Islam. ادخلوا في السلم كافة. And then after that kafah, he mentioned family, and he mentioned business transaction. And then he ended Baqarah with the longest ayah in Quran. The longest ayah is not about prayer. It's about business. Subhanallah. Why? Just to not deviate from the concept of the Quran. Don't interpret Quran according to your knowledge. Business is a type of ibadah. Look at the ayah, start with يا أيها الذين آمنوا. End with واتقوا الله ويعلمكم الله. The same first call, يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم لعلكم. Now finally we come to the introduction, which is ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. Allah, before he talk about what he wants from us, he talk about the book. And what's the interaction from the people to the book? Why? الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان. Allah created insan first. But he mentioned علم القرآن to tell you your purpose here on this earth is just to apply the Quran. Then he came to the first command in Quran. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. How can we understand this ayah in the rest of Baqarah? He will remove اعبدوا and put something else, and تتقون always there. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم. He will give you an act of worship, family for example, and then he will say taqwa. And finally, the first story in Baqarah is قصة Adam. You know, when I come across this, I said this Quran order only from Allah, definitely. Story of Adam should be the beginning. And from which angle? In angle only mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. Khalifa fil ard. That's only in Baqarah. Because that's the beginning. That's our identity, why we are here. We are here as a Khalifa fil ard. How's the test will be? Everything is halal except one tree. Every drink is halal except alcohol. Every meat is halal except one tree. But the story, you will make mistake, but will end with tawbah. When you study Baqarah in this, you find a soul. When you hear the word Baqarah, mistakes of the people before us, means we are the leaders now. Don't make these mistakes and carry the flag of this ummah. And to remind you more, 2 ayat, Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to recite it every night. آمن الرسول. That's the big, the summary of Surah Al-Baqarah. And we repeat it. Look what they say. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا. غفرانك ربنا. We humble ourselves because we learn the mistakes. We submit to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We don't differentiate between prophets. They all Islam. That's Surah Al-Baqarah. Imagine if you go through Quran like this, surah by surah. Every surah will shape your mind in a way you will look at this in front of you, the reality from the perspective of Quran. If there is, I do the class in Quran just like this, but because time I think is over, I don't know when did I think I start 4 minutes. Oh, amazing. Allahu Akbar Barakah. Look, 7 minutes and a half. That's me again. So, this Surah Al-Baqarah. Okay? Then you'll go to Surah Ali Imran. Surah Ali Imran also is about identity. No insan here. And it's about the Islam again. Surah Ali Imran also 2 long passages with passage in between, introduction and conclusion. The first long passage is about the theological debate with Christians, all their misconceptions. The second long passage, who can tell me about what? Very good. 1 ladies, 0 men. Okay, it's about the Battle of Uhud. The Battle of Uhud historically, first or Badr first? Badr first. And is there any surah in Quran talk about Badr? Al-Anfal 1:1. Good. Why Uhud, commentary about Uhud before the commentary about Badr? Yes? Good. Because again, the method of Baqarah, the defeat, the lessons you derive from defeat is more important. Because you think, I am Muslim, so I will win all the time. So when something happens, what's going on? Now he will explain for you in details. And he chooses a battle that who is the leader? Rasulullah himself. That means will happen a lot in history. So we'll derive a lot of lessons. So this theological debate and this battle of Uhud, it seems they are not aligned together. This theological debate, this is a battle. Okay, let us go to the 3 pages in middle, or 2.5. It's about Ummah again. In Surah Al-Baqarah, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Here is about كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. Ummah again in between. The identity again came. Surah Baqarah set the foundation. Surah Uhud, steadfastness, challenges that the Ummah will face. 2 types of challenges, external and internal. External, that theological debate. That's the external challenge. And you need to turn to Quran. The arguments of a Quran are subhanallah, amazing. You know, Quran has a lot of logical arguments, but he put it in very nice way that subhanallah. Okay, so this external challenge. Internal challenge is in Battle of Uhud. Why internal? Because here the problem comes from inside. Those people who disagree with Rasulullah, the archers in that mountain, we have now defeated from inside. That's why he said, قُلْ هُوَ مِنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Internal challenge. How can we deal with that? External and internal. And in the middle, when he mentioned Ummah, he mentioned 2 things here. He will explain it in details in Surah Al-Anfal. He said in Surah Ali Imran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And then, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ. This will explain in details in Surah Al-Anfal. If you want victory is 2 factors. It's to be close to Allah and to be united. Be close to Allah. That's here is to know your religion very well in this context. To have that theological debate. To be united, that's the story of Uhud. So when he mentioned this, come to the introduction now. Introduction of Ali Imran. He mentioned ayah only in this surah. By the way, do you know that every single surah in Quran has 1 word or 1 sentence mentioned only in that surah? Allah will never repeat it. Shall I make quiz? Surah Al-Fatiha, 1 word only mentioned in Fatiha. Never in Quran you'll find this word. Iyak, very good. Iyak is not in Quran, only in Fatiha. That means it is the secret. And it's in the middle. As-Samad, قل هو الله أحد. Samad. What else? لم يلد ولم يولد. That's right. What else? ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل هو الله أحد. Every single ayah is unique because it's Surah Al-Ikhlas. So in the beginning of Al Imran, Allah mentioned one ayah only in Al Imran. هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات هن الكتاب وأخر. That's the key for theological debate. That's the key. Quran is muhkam, clear. And there's some ayat you should return to the muhkam. Finally, why it's Al Imran? Why it's Al Imran? In the introduction, he will mention the Al Imran. Number one, because it's theological debate with Christians. They want to remind them of this noble family, Al Imran. Number two, when he mentioned Al Imran, he mentioned the mother of Maryam before Maryam. Mother of Maryam is Rabbaniya, very pious woman. Al Imran in the second passage is all about Rabbaniyin. It's about to be pious. Look at the wife of Imran. Al Imran, because when it comes to your mind, Al Imran, Isa. Okay, the second passage is about then debate about the Christians here. But when he say Al, this is the family of Imran. That means here, we want to bring the tarbiyah here. When you go with the challenges, external one and internal one, what will happen? Will happen Al. Not only you will raise your children in that, and you will produce Alu Fulan or Alu Fulan, a family that is pious. This, the second surah. Every surah has a soul. And finally, Surah Al-Fatiha is your homework. Because if I start talking, I can. That's your homework to see what's the main themes here. And what's the secret of that surah? Why Iyaka twice? I've just mentioned two questions and we'll finish. First question, it's two passages also and one in between. What's the secret here? That's in the second conference, insha'Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
The Quran is not one voice. Each surah carries its own message. Some bring comfort, some bring strength, some bring protection, and some bring hope. Together, they guide us back to Allah.